All right. Thank you, class, for filling out the first activity. And that means if you have access to this video, that means you have finished that one. So congratulations. We'll go through just real quick on those factors. So the first factor that we have is, of course, accessibility. It is accessible because it is a straightforward and engaging style, and it's easy to understand. Does not require you special knowledge to read through popular literature. We also have entertainment value. Of course, we read books because we want to be entertained, or we read literature, we partake in literature because we want to be entertained, and that's why entertainment value is one factor uh, sh- that shows the appeal of popular literature. We also go with relatability. It explores universal themes that relate to us and resonate with us as readers on a personal level. So that's one factor for the appeal of popular literature. We also go with cultural and, as what I've told you a while ago, for those who were on site last week, a cultural and historical relevance. We see a culture being reflected in the literature that we read, and because of this, because of how a culture is reflected, uh, relatability is much more evident. You know, oh, I can relate to that because that's what happened. That is what happened before. So that is cultural and historical relevance. We also have our community and fandom, where we have groups of people. Sometimes people call them nerds, but they're not nerds. They're just people who found community within the literatures that they have read. So, for example, we have a community, we have a fandom of Game of Thrones, or they dress up, or they do games on Game of Thrones, so on and so forth. That's part of the community, and that is why popular literature is appealing as well. And lastly, versatility. One literature can be transformed into a movie, can be transformed to a TV series, uh, and there's a lot as well of genres that can be taken by readers. So whatever it is that they want to do, popular literature is very versatile. Okay, now we go to the next one, which is the social function in literature. So there are different social functions of literature. Allow me to explain some of these to you. So first, we have the entertainment function. Of course, I have been repeating this. Literature is really for entertainment, and it provides us the escape from boredom, from routine, or even personal issues. So, maybe some of you read because you're stressed, or some of you read because you're sad. Whatever it is that you're feeling or you're experiencing, you use books, you use literature, you use stories to let go of the pain, the suffering, or maybe the disappointments that you have, whatever it is. But one thing is for sure, we read because we want to be entertained. It's like a release. It's like a what do you call this? An escape. We're going back to escapism. It's an escapism that we have. There you go. You see, offers fun, reassurance, and emotional relief. So, of course, includes here works presented as performances. So, spoken poetry, you do have that. Short story readings, stage novels, so on and so forth, and like soap operas and films as well. You have that. Now we go to the social function. Sorry, the social and political function of literature. Now, literature shows us how society works around them. Now, it helps the reader see the social and political constructs around him and shows the state of people and the world around him. Though lots of other things that we'd like to debate, discuss, and muse over, like maybe political figures, current events, families, friends, and so forth. Uh, for example, with the current political climate of the Philippines right now, you'd like to debate how, what they call this, maybe you are DDS, or maybe you are Dilawan or Pinklawan, or maybe loyalist. But then when we read through the literature that we have, or the literature, it gives us a glimpse of how a society might not be. For example, uh, I think it's the Maze Runner or the Divergent. You've been forced to have these social structures or social constructs that you have to follow. So, for example, if you are a Dilawan, you have to be like this. If you're a DDS, you have to be like this. And we're being pitted against each other. We're being fought against each other. So that's a negative kind of thing. But when we read literature, it has this social and political function that reminds us, hey, we're human beings. We're not confined by these political labels that other people uh, might uh, propagate, right? So there's sometimes a novels where there's some social novels where they reflect through the characters the scenario of the society, the condition of life, gender issues, employment, so on and so forth. So uh, sometimes this literature, especially novels, because novels are really good at this, they show the sad and miserable life in the society through the social and political function. Okay, we go to the next one. Oh, no, before that, we go to the kinds of social political context. So we have social issues, politics, and religions. Now, social issues, these are issues concerning the national aspect of human life, have been long the heart of innumerable works of literature. So you have these patriotic books like where we see uh, Florante at Laura, El Filibusterismo, some of these books, especially written by our national hero, si Rizal, you see there really social issues being pointed out. We also have a politics, which is a very prolific theme or topic in literature. So we have, if you're familiar with mm, if you're familiar with forgot the I am not sure if it is a literature, but if some of you have watched a Netflix House of Cards, then House of Cards is a political TV series. It basically game politics, so on and so forth, and religion as well. Okay, so there, social political context on religion can just like what we've discussed. I forgot the title of the book. Uh, the one that has the missionary who refuses to adapt to the culture of the country that he is in. That talks about religion, social political context. Okay. I'll tell you if I can remember. Sorry, class. Let's go to the next one. Ideological function. Now, the ideological function shapes our way of thinking based on the ideas of other people. Now, literature also displays a person's ideology placed in the text consciously and unconsciously because sometimes these readers or maybe the characters that the readers have in the book will place their ideological thinking or process of thinking in the text, maybe consciously or unconsciously. Now, one main function of an ideology is to act as a principle or set of principles by which to change society by providing a set of norms. So, whatever it is that the character wants to do or wants to change, uh, or the ideals of that character, it's reflected in the literature. Okay, so that's why sometimes we have to be careful with what we read, that we don't absorb everything because let's say for example if we absorb everything uh, everything that we read, that's not actually good as well. So make sure to when you read literature, you also err on the side of caution, like you don't take in everything, because if you take in everything, you're not thinking anymore. uh, that's that's not good for you. Next, moral function. Now, literature may impart moral values to its readers. Now, the moral contained in the literary text, whether it's a good or bad, are absorbed by whoever reads it. So, it now depends. Now, the moral contained, whether it's good or bad, will be absorbed by the reader himself or herself, helping shape their personality. Now, the moral in literature is a message that is conveyed or a lesson that is learned from a story or event. So when we read literature, literature is actually has some morals that they want to teach us. All right. So Just like some of these, which will be your second activity. Now, I have here some of the stories. There you go. The Poisonwood Bible is the book about the missionary by Barbara Kingsolver. All right, so I have here a list of literature and the possible as well a list of what they call this list of morals. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to match them. Okay, match the book to the best moral that the book will give you. And again, you have to perfect this so that you can move on to the next video. Okay, so I'll leave you to that. That's going to be activity two. Let's go to the next ones rather. Linguistic function. Now, literature preserves the language of every civilization from which it originated. They are also evidence that a certain civilization existed by recording the language and preserving it through wide spans of time. Now, the linguistic function of literature is this: it uses or refers to the general social use of language, such as uh, requesting objects, activities, initiating social interactions, expressing feelings, and really, what it does, it transmits. Wait, I did not. I did not change the slides. Let me just give you the. Uh, let me just let me just continue on the linguistic function of literature. So so basically what a uh, basically literature with its linguistic function is it keeps the language of course the language of the civilization from where it originated. So uh, uh, let me give you an example. Huh? We have the story of uh, here in the Philippines or here in Cebu rather, especially in Argao, we have the story of Maria Cacao. And with that story, with that mythological or folklore, folk tale rather, uh, the you know we see that most, especially in Argao, that nature is really untouched. Not really untouched, but there's just a few lang that are abusing nature. Like most, if you go to Argao, uh, Argao is actually a very naturistic place, and that is reflected with the legend or the folk tale of Maria Cacao, which is also based in Argao. Because if you don't know yet, the story of Maria Cacao basically tells us, don't abuse me. Don't abuse the nature that has been given to you. And if you go there, you don't see, big mining. Though there is mining, yes, but just a little bit, not really that widespread like in other areas. Okay, so that's the linguistic function of literature. Okay, next. Now, something related to linguistic function is the cultural function as well. Now, it introduces the tradition, folklore, and arts of specific cultural groups. And we have here, it preserves whole cultures and their way of life. So, we have here examples from Biag Nilamang and the Hinila Wood. So this literature actually preserves cultural uh, pieces of our existence. So they preserve entire cultures and create an imprint of the people's way of living for others, for us to read, to hear, and to learn. We have educational function as well, where literature teaches us many things about the human experience. It is used to portray the facets of life that we see and those that we would never dream of seeing. So conduct a chance to experience and feel things where we can learn things about life. So it allows us to teach the familiar things to our students. We also have the opportunity with literature to teach unfamiliar things to our students. So, oh, yes, uh, nature, you know about Maria Cacao, so you teach them about Maria Cacao. But you also have other literatures in Asia, in Southeast Asia, where They also have this myths about taking care of uh, taking care of nature. So you also have that one as the educational function. You teach them. It allows with literature. It allows you to teach familiar and unfamiliar aspects of life. Okay, so as teachers, we can use literature basically as a springboard, as like it seems like an engagement for us. Okay, and lastly, historical function. So ancient texts, illuminated manuscripts, stones, tablets keep a record of events that happened in the place where they originated, and it serve as time capsules of letters that are studied by scholars and researchers of today. So we have the Bible, the Quran, the Iliad, and the Odyssey from Greek mythology, the Mahabharata from India, the Canterbury Tales in uh, Great Britain. So you see here that literature truly has a historical function. It allows us to bridge the gap between what we know and what has been, right? So again, connecting it to history. So that ends this part of our lecture. Make sure to answer activity 2. And then once you perfect activity 2, you may proceed to activity 3. Thank you, class, and I'll see you in the next video.